with a former New Japan star spotted at the WWE Performance Center and more. This is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report for September 29th. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Talking about the stars that would end up missing this week's Dynamite, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful reported that AEW Dynamite was heavily affected by the hurricane in Florida. As made public by Tony Khan this week, those who lived in the area were not required to attend tonight's AEW Dynamite in Philadelphia. Grab City's Will Washington learned a couple of those absences that led to big changes on the show. Former AEW World Tag Team Champion Swerve Strickland was scheduled to be at the show but couldn't travel to the event. His tag team partner Keith Lee was solo, working in a backstage segment with the Acclaimed. Another name that was scheduled for the show who couldn't make it was Samoa Joe. On an ROH heavy show from Philadelphia, the ROH TV champion was slated to be at the event. We'll have more on these absences and how they affected the show on Day After Dynamite on Thursday. Speaking of my San Antonio, Shawn Michaels was asked about changes brought to NXT over the last year. As he said, "It was all very sudden for all of us. I've been here with WWE for 35 years and doing live television for almost 30 of them. When it comes to live TV, it is always a learning process because anything can happen. And a lot of things have happened that we had to adjust to, and that is what this was. It was an event where we had to quickly make a lot of changes and get a lot of things accomplished. Getting trained for the fire drill is what working in WWE is from a live television standpoint. It was a good opportunity for us to come together as a team and learn and grow together. I will say one of the greatest things I had is the phenomenal team that Hunter had put together previously, and I have a lot of great people around me, Matt Bloom, Johnny Russo, and numerous others. But with everything, you learn to do your best and take it in stride and learn from your mistakes, and we have done that here as a team and done that with the young talent. I think the thing I am most proud of is that we are starting to be on the other side of that, and we are starting to see the hard work paying off, and are very excited for what the future holds for NXT and WWE as a whole." With him making an appearance on AEW Dynamite last night, Juice Robinson talked to Sports Illustrated where he revealed that "I'm no longer representing New Japan, and I want that to be clear. I carried that New Japan flag for 7 years. I've got no unfinished business there. I sang that song and I danced that dance, and we've gone our separate ways. That's in the rearview mirror. I'm totally free right now. I'll fight whoever, wherever, and whenever I want, as long as it's the right match against the right opponent on the right night of the week." During an interview with NBC Sports Boston, Drew McIntyre touched on the possibility of turning heel in WWE, saying, "If I eventually turn bad again, I wouldn't just be the big angry man, that character of death, because I can educate who I really am, and I'll be a lot more interested the next time around." Revealing what MJF had been up to when he was away from AEW for about 3 months, it was reported that MJF is back in AEW after several months away, and he is doing media talking about how he spent his time. During the interviews, he noted that he almost never left his house for 3 months, which is actually mostly true from what Fightful has learned. Throughout the process, MJF did not have contact with most people, including many close friends, until shortly before his appearance. As All Out grew closer, several members of the roster learned that he'd be the Joker. After the promo in Los Angeles, MJF stayed in town to participate in some meetings for Hollywood-related projects. Aside from that, he kept a low profile, even though he was seen at Disney once this summer, and we've also further confirmed that he did film something with Impractical Jokers throughout the summer. MJF steered clear of social media or even going out in public much. We haven't learned if MJF actually got a new contract, an extension, or an amendment to his deal, but it was heavily implied to us by AEW sources that he's in a much more favorable situation financially. MJF is at least telling people that ask him that he hasn't signed an extension, but that's hardly gospel at this point. Fightful's Will Washington has also learned that contacts with Warner Brothers Discovery that several there were happy that MJF returned. When we followed up about that, one content pointed to MJF being a consistent rating success for the brand. Talking about Triple H being the head of creative in WWE, Rhea Ripley mentioned on Fox Sports Australia, it feels like NXT again. It feels like that family environment that I really loved about NXT and miss at the same time. Triple H is very hands-on, extremely hands-on, which is something I really appreciate. I love being able to go out there and talk to him and just get his opinion on things and learn from him every single Monday, whether it be something small or something big. With Kevin Dunn being considered a Vince McMahon guy, some assumed that he would no longer be producing television for WWE. Now, PW Insider has reported that for the many who have asked about the status of Kevin Dunn in WWE, there is nothing to the rumors making the rounds on Twitter and elsewhere that he has left the company. Dunn's status is 100% unchanged with WWE, and anyone who is claiming otherwise is 100,000% incorrect in their claims. With MJF taking a shot at William Regal's substance abuse issues from the past on Dynamite last week, Regal responded to this on his Gentleman Villain podcast. Do you think I care? I call myself out 1,000 times over about what I've done with my life. I've canned it when I was younger. I've proper gone out there and hammered life and got up to all kinds of stuff that you would never get. I had a blast when I was out, and then I did some dreadful, awful things. But I'm through it, and it's really 22 years out of date. He needs to update his material, but I just play into it. It's a part of me now, William Regal. It's a part of me that I am this old rogue that has done this and that, whatever it is plays into this character that I just turned into. Nowadays, you can't really do that. There's much less room for error. MJF has got something going. He's figured out whatever it is. He's got something going. Talking about the potential travel issues for Smackdown thanks to Hurricane Ian heading through Florida, Dave Meltzer noted on Wrestling Observer Radio, I know WWE is very worried about Friday's show because they have so many people from there. The hope was that it'll be okay and people can get there from Tampa and Orlando to Winnipeg on Friday. When talking about the crown jewel main event between Roman Reigns and Logan Paul, Disco Inferno said on Keeping It 100, people forget how great Logan Paul did against The Miz. Everybody has just forgotten about that for some reason. Bro, he stole the show on those. This is definitely gonna be a show stealer because the expectations are low, and Logan Paul exceeds expectations every time he performs. With PW Insider reporting that former New Japan star Karl Fredericks was seen yesterday at the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, it's believed he could be close to signing with the company. Of course, Fredericks announced his departure from New Japan as he said, as of August 1st, I am no longer under contract with New Japan Pro Wrestling and will not be re-signing with the company at this time. Though there is disappointment in the ending of this chapter, I am grateful for the last 4 years traveling the world and growing with my best friends. I want to say thank you to the company for the opportunities, and especially thank you to Shibata-san for believing in me and bringing me along his journey with the LA Dojo. Last but not least, thank you to my fans, and thank you to the NJPW fans for your support over these years. I hope you will continue to support me along my path wherever that may lead. With The Hollywood Reporter indicating previously that Warner Bros. Discovery is looking into a potential merger or sale, WBD CEO David Zaslav refuted this claim during a recent town hall Zoom call for employees. We are not for sale? Absolutely not for sale. We have the strongest hand in the industry. We have everything we need to be successful, to be the biggest entertainment media company in the world. When bringing up the possibility of Bray Wyatt returning to WWE, Ronda Rousey mentioned this on her live stream, saying, "Oh god, if Bray Wyatt came back, I would die." You know what I would love? If Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas came back and Bo was part of his cult. Ugh, I just want to see them together. Why not? Speaking on After the Bell about his return to WWE TV in 2020 for a BT Sport launch party in the UK, Sheamus touched on being disappointed since he thought his comeback would have been on a bigger stage. "After the concussion I got at the last WrestleMania in New York, I'm so bad at these WrestleMania numbers. There's so many WrestleManias, so that's when we're at New York. I had a concussion on the Smackdown and I was out for a while. I had some neck injuries too, and I worked on all of that stuff, and I came back and I was really hyped about it. And instead of being out on the shelf since WrestleMania, so I think it was like 6 months, I was in these backstage promos that really weren't going anywhere. It started off really cool. The first one I did in the backstage, it was coming out. It was like, there was so much hype about it, right? So much hype, and then it just happened the week after and the week after. It created a lot of story in the beginning, but then it just kind of faded out, so even before the time the Royal Rumble came, when I actually got back in the ring with the Shorty G thing, it was like I was told to go over to BT Studios and had a match with Andrade in the BT Arena because we just signed a deal with them. It was a complete massive letdown return because for me, I felt like I deserved to come back on the big stage after everything I've done in my career. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.